Ciao friends, it's Liz from SimpleItalianCooking.com. So glad you're here today because we're going to talk about a really easy and simple recipe for how to make homemade pizza sauce. You're going to be surprised at how easy this actually is. You don't need any special ingredients. You don't need any special sauces, spoons, stirs, herbs. We're just going to go over how to make a basic sauce. So let's get started. The first thing that you're going to want is just a medium-sized saucepan. You're going to want or get about 28 ounces of crushed tomatoes. Quick tip, if you don't have crushed tomatoes, like we don't always have it available, we tend to always have diced. I take diced tomatoes and I just do 3 pulses in a blender and that's it. And it crushes it just as if it's crushed tomatoes, okay? So little tip there. All right, and then we have 6 ounces of tomato paste. We have dried oregano. You can get this at the store. I grow my own. I grow Greek oregano because it's a little more, has more bite, a little bit more spicy than regular Italian oregano. And then all you need is a 1/4 cup of water. So I got some distilled water here. You need 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 2 garlic cloves that we're going to mince. If you don't have a mincer, that's okay. Just chop it really, really fine, like really, really fine, and you'll be good. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take 2 tablespoons of the olive oil and heat it in a saucepan between low and medium because we're going to have to cook the garlic in it as soon as it heats up. One thing to be really careful about is to not let your garlic burn. Now remember, it's going to be minced, so it's going to be really, really fine. So if you have this up too high or you leave it in too long, the garlic in too long, it can burn. If it burns, I'm sorry friends, you got to stop, you got to toss it out, and you got to start over. It's going to ruin your sauce. Okay, so we have the oil heating up at a low-medium heat, and I'm going to mince 2 garlic cloves using the mincer and add that in. And the 2 garlic cloves, don't worry about it being too strong, it won't be. And you know, with all my recipes and videos, I tell you, hey, if you like something more than something else or you want to adjust quantities, yeah, go for it. This is not written in stone, so modify to your taste. And what I give you a starting point. That's how I look at it. And then you can take it from there. If you like it the way I do it, great, don't change anything. If you want to add a little bit more of something else, great, go for it. All right, so we want to stir the garlic in here just a little to make sure that it's all coated. And we're going to let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes. Now, if it starts getting really aromatic and you start seeing little bubbles, then it's time to move on to the next step. I'm actually going to turn my induction burner down to the lowest setting because it heats up really fast. If you know my story, you know that I did not grow up knowing how to cook. And it wasn't until later in life that I learned. And if I can do it, I know everybody else can too. So it's not that hard. So real quick, if you're enjoying this recipe so far and like the video and you like Italian food, please give me a thumbs up. And that just helps let other people know about this video. And hit the subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already, and the notify bell button, because that way when we put out new videos, you'll get notified right away. Okay, so this is getting really, really aromatic, and it is now time to add in the crushed tomatoes. And give that a stir. And like I said, you don't need any special stirs or anything. Then we add the tomato paste. And this tomato paste is, I think I have 6 ounces of it. And you just kind of want to mix that in there, and it will blend. And then we want to add in a 1/4 cup of the water. I'm using distilled water. I do not use tap water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take about a 1/4 teaspoon or a 1/2 teaspoon of oregano. So oregano is really, in my opinion, the secret ingredient to a pizza sauce, to a red pizza sauce. During World War II, when our soldiers were over in Italy, they learned why their pizza sauce tasted so good, and that was because of the use of oregano. They came back, and wives and mothers started growing oregano because they talked about it. So how true that is, I don't know, but that's what I've heard for many years. So I'm not really going to measure. I'm going to guesstimate. But I say a 1/4 to a 1/2 teaspoon. I would go a 1/2 teaspoon personally. because you really, really, really want that oregano flavor. And go ahead and mix all of that together. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cook this on low for about 20 minutes at least. And the flavors are going to blend together. This sauce is going to be a little tangy because of the tomato paste. Tomato paste does not have sugar in it, okay? So if you don't like a tangy sauce, add in about 1/4 teaspoon of sugar, okay? And that will help offset it. The other thing, if you tend to really love your pizza sauces with a lot of basil and onion and all this other stuff, you notice I didn't put that in here. This is a simple sauce. This is a simple pizza sauce. This is the way I like it. I put onions on my pizza. I've done basil on my pizza, but I don't put it in my sauce. Okay, but if you want to, you can put in some, I would suggest not doing chopped onions. I would put probably some onion powder, just a little dash of onion powder in here. And if you want to put some basil in here, you can. I don't recommend it because that to me is more of a pasta sauce. But at least this is a base. And then, okay, so you know what? I'm talking too much. So let's go ahead and I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to put the cover on. Whoops. You don't belong there. And we're just going to let this sit for, cook for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to taste it. It'll probably be fine. The longer you cook it, the flavors are going to blend or the more it's going to get incorporated. So I do recommend that. So while this is cooking, I'm going to go ahead and clean up the dishes. Ciao, friends. All right, so we're back and the pizza sauce is done. We've got about almost 32 ounces here. This is a 4-cup container. So once the pizza sauce cools and you're satisfied with it, transfer it to a container that you can have an airtight container lid. And that way you can store it in the fridge or the freezer. If you put it in the freezer, make sure to label and date it. So this is the pizza sauce, and I think it tastes great. And that's going to be perfect for our pizzas. And I hope that is perfect for your pizza too. Please let me know what you think. Put down in the comments. Tell me how you make your own pizza sauce. I'd love to hear it. So, all right. Well, thanks so much for watching. And again, give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. And subscribe if you haven't already. Well, thanks so much for watching. Grazie e ciao.